Hi guys, it's rvmvntics here, and today I wanted to recommend a few films that I think would be nice to watch during this time of the year, curled up on your bed with a mug filled with hot chocolate. Well, at least that's what I wish I would do, but I don't. I usually just sit there watching a film. I don't even drink hot chocolate, but I should, and you should too. But yeah, so today's video based on my own film recommendations to you guys. Of course, most of you have probably watched a lot of these films already, so I do apologize if anything that I've listed you've already watched, but to anyone who hasn't watched them before, here you go, some recommendations. So I would also like to say that I'm not sure how to set out these sorts of videos yet, so please bear with me. And once again, my editing and filming skills are terrible, so I do apologise. So film number one is The King's Speech, which is directed by Tom Hooper. The film follows King George VI's struggle with public speaking and how his stammer affects him on a daily basis. King George VI is the late Queen Elizabeth II's father. The film shows his journey alongside his speech therapist, Lionel, and the supportive roles that his wife, the Queen's mother, Elizabeth, played throughout his life, as well as the relationship between him and his speech therapist, the relationships he has with his family, and all of that stuff. I think it's a beautiful film and shows his struggle, and I think it's very interesting and emotional to watch. Even if you're not a fan of the royal family, I just think it's such a beautiful film, and I think it's a great film to watch at night curled up on your bed. My second film is one that I'm sure a lot of you love, at least that's what I've noticed when scrolling through Instagram or Tumblr, etc. It seems to be a fan favourite within the dark academia community, etc., and the literature community, is Dead Poets Society, directed by Peter Weir. And I know so many people love it, and I can only sing its praises. It's an amazing film. Robin Williams' character, John Keating, is an English teacher in an all-male prep school in Vermont. Essentially, his character encourages his students to live life to the fullest, and we hear the famous quote, "Carpe diem," used within the film, and he essentially encourages them to be individuals, to live life without a care. Live how you want to. I don't want to say too much because I'm scared that I'll spoil the film to anyone who hasn't watched it yet, but all I'm saying is that it's a beautiful film, it's amazing, and prepare your tissues when you're watching it. Whether you're watching it for the first time or the 15th time, you need those tissues. It's an amazing film, but it's so emotional, and probably one of my favourite films of all time. The third film out of 5 that I'd like to recommend is Coffee and Cigarettes, which is directed by Jim Jarmusch. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his surname, but yeah, and he's one of my favourite directors, which I know is bad, I don't know how to say his name, but he's such a great director, and I really do recommend this film. It's not really a film that has like a proper storyline like some of the films that have been mentioned, but it's one that is based around the human experience and human interactions that we have in our everyday lives, revolving coffee and cigarettes. I don't drink coffee and I don't smoke, but it's just something that everyone understands. Like, you go to a coffee shop, cafe, etc. It's just so many interactions that people do have in everyday life. It's very real, and you see people like Iggy Pop in this film. You see a lot of like stars starred in it, When I say stars, I mean like celebrities and stuff. But like, it's just a really easy watch. It's such a simplistic film, but I love it. It's so artistic, and it's, you know, it's just such an easy, simple watch, but yeah, it's beautiful. That's all I can say. I just love it so much, and I hope someone else out there does too. The fourth film that I will be recommending is The Lady in the Van, which is directed by Nicholas Hinter. And I found it quite emotional personally. I don't cry a lot during films, but I did cry during this one. And it's based on the true story of British author Alan Bennings, and his relationship with Mary Shepherd, who is an old lady who lives in a van. She's quite unique. She's like your typical grumpy old lady. She's a bit eccentric, but she's like, you can't help but love her despite getting annoyed with her, much like Alan does. And as insinuated by the title, she parks her van in front of, like, she lives in a van, and she parks her van in front of his house for numerous years. She tends to annoy some of the neighbours and Alan, etc. But she's stubborn, and she's quite funny from an outsider's perspective. I don't really want to give too much of the film away, but it truly is a beautiful film that, at least in my experience, will leave you feeling so many different emotions. And if you do decide to watch Dead Poets Society, why can't I speak? If you do decide to watch Dead Poets Society first and then watching this film afterwards, you'll probably need at least 2 tissue boxes, because, whew, the emotions. But no, it's truly a great film, and I do recommend it. And last but not least, this film is an LGBTQ plus film called Between Two Women, directed by Stephen Woodcock. And I only recently watched this film, and it's definitely a must watch. It's set in Northern England during the 1950s. Ellen is in an unhappy marriage with a factory worker called Jeff. And they have a 10-year-old son called Victor. During the 50s, there was the whole sort of like the industrial stuff going on, like coal mines, etc. And they are a working class family up north, and to anyone in Britain, you'll understand, anyone who lives in England, you'll understand the hardships that the Northerners face during this time period, especially. And within this film, we see Jeff, who is the husband, who's quite an angry individual, I suppose. I can some of it is understandable in terms of the living conditions and stuff, but he's quite abusive and just not very nice towards his son or towards his wife. So I do say trigger warning for this film if any of this sort of stuff will upset you too much or trigger you at all. If it triggers you at all, I don't recommend it. But it's a really great film in my opinion, very poetic, and we see the comparison between the relationships in the film, like between mother and son, so Victor and Ellen, beautiful relationship between Victor and his father, which is not a very good relationship. Like Ellen and her husband, not a good relationship. It's just, yeah, you see that, and then you add on to the fact that there's Victor's teacher, who Ellen has struck a friendship with, but she seems to have some sort of feelings for her, which is evident as you watch it. And she battles with her own sexuality throughout the film, and yeah, I don't want to say too much once again, but I think yeah, I just think it's a beautiful film. I know I keep saying it, all these films here are beautiful to me, but it's just so poetic. I know I said that, but yeah, it's so poetic, it's beautiful, it tackles several issues like during this time period, internal issues, everything, and I can't recommend this film enough. I really think you should watch it. But yeah, that was the last film for today for me to recommend, and I'm not the best at summarising films and recommending them, but I really do love all 5 of these films, and I hope that you will too. Yeah, and I just want to say thank you for watching this video, and if you'd like, please like, comment and subscribe. And if you have watched any of these films, or you do decide to watch them, let me know what you think of them in the comments. All my social media is linked in the bio. I think it's description, bio, whatever you call it. But yeah, I really appreciate it, and thank you for being here with me. It's been Romantics. Take care of yourselves. Bye.